Hi everyone, welcome to UTA Planetarium's YouTube channel. My name is Levent Gürdemir, Director of UTA Planetarium.
Hi
I'm
everyone,
here
welcome
to do
to
another
UTA Planetarium.
stargazing, live stargazing with you. So, what we are going to do and what we did last week was to talk about we started talking about the planets of our solar system. So we covered the inner planets. If you remember, they were Mercury, Venus, Earth, our planet, Mars, and we stopped there because we said we are going to talk about the rest of the planets next week. So here is the time. If you are ready, we will start from the largest planet of the solar system. You can participate in this live stream anytime. You can just drop your question to the comments and we will read it and respond it as soon as possible. So some of the questions I will address it here on live, and some of the questions may get answered later by our planetarium team. Speaking about the planetarium team, thanks a lot to all the ladies and gentlemen to make this stream possible. They are great members of planetarium staff. I am talking about Jim Bader, the planetarium coordinator, Huzara and Jennifer are great team members. So we are leaving Earth just like we did last time. Last week, it was we have a great functionality to act like we are in a spaceship, and in this spaceship we are leaving our planet and going to different planets. So our destination is set for largest planet, Jupiter. Okay, let's do it. It takes a little time to program our spaceship, but we at the UTA Planetarium have the fastest spaceship in the space. Fastest spaceship takes literally a lot less time than the NASA spacecrafts or some other the space pioneers. They built rockets, but certainly our rockets are the best and the fastest. And here we are near this great planet, the largest planet of the solar system. Jupiter is one of the facts about Jupiter is it is fast rotating planet. It takes about 10 hours to rotate around its axis. So if you recall, how do we call one rotation around axis on Earth? We call it one day. So one Jupiter day is not 24 hours, it is about 10 hours. It is also a very massive planet, even if we combined all other planets in the solar system. They are not just half as massive as Jupiter. So Jupiter has been around in the sky for a while. When Jupiter is in the sky, you can certainly spot it because it is a so bright point of light. And also, like all other planets, it has a night side and a day side. Right now, the Jupiter started looking like faces of the moon as we see it from Earth. That's because we are getting close to its night side. Of course, I highly doubt that anybody lives on this great planet, but still it has daytime and nighttime. Now, are you ready for the second largest planet of the solar system? And maybe on the comment line, you can tell me what's the name of the second largest planet. Yes, it's Saturn. Saturn is known as Jewel. So we will take off, steer our spaceship and go to Saturn. And remember, Saturn is a planet that is visible in the night sky as a very bright point of light. And even with a backyard telescope, you can see the great ring system of Saturn. It really looks amazing. So we are getting close to this beautiful, great ringed world. So Saturn is not the only planet to have rings. Actually, all the planets we will be covering mostly today, what we call them gas giants, have ring systems around it. But the Saturn's ones is the only one visible from Earth telescopes, visible from Earth, because its ring system is great and very bright. For example, we didn't see a ring system around Jupiter a moment ago, and that's because Jupiter has a tiny ring that is only visible to the spacecrafts that go around that planet. Now, we are diving into the rings of Saturn. Do you know what the rings are made of? They are actually very tiny particles of rock, dust, and ice. They are very tiny, small particles. They shine the sunlight, reflect the sunlight, so we see the great ring system. But it's a super thin ring system around Saturn. Saturn has a moon. It has actually 53 known moons plus 30 or more unconfirmed moons. But I would like to talk about its largest moon a little bit. It's Titan. So the Titan is known to have, it is the only moon in the solar system that has air around it. So while looking at the great picture of Saturn, the Titan's atmosphere was detected by space missions back in the past by some spacecrafts launched in 70s and 80s. So they spotted the atmosphere around Titan. So that created an excitement. Of course, it would be exciting because the atmosphere is one thing we are looking for, the condition of life. So Earth has an atmosphere, and it is the main thing to support life system on our planet. Similarly, if another place, another destination has atmosphere on it, so that's one of the things that attracts our attention, because we are looking for some other conditions for possibly supporting life. So is there life on Titan? The answer is maybe yes, maybe no. We cannot tell for sure, but what we can tell is that Titan's atmosphere is little different than the Earth's atmosphere. So currently, we are leaving our Earth again. I think we had to come back for to get some more gas to. So we'll see all the maybe other planets and hopefully not get hit by an asteroid, because going to other solar system requires traveling through the asteroid belt. So we talked about asteroid belt last week. There are hundreds of thousands of asteroids circling around. So this is Titan. So when we look at Titan first, we see clouds. So that's a great indication for air around Titan. But this air is different because it is not oxygen-rich like or nitrogen-rich like our Earth's air. There is a chemical known to us a flammable gas, methane and ethane. Those gases are most abundant in Titan's air. The space missions also spotted some lakes and rivers, which created even more excitement to scientists for possible life support systems. It turns out there are lakes and rivers on the Titan's surface, but those are also methane lakes and rivers. So, could there be life? Possible, but it wouldn't be life like we know on Earth, but with some different chemistry. Life can be possible on Titan, and that chemistry needs to tolerate this flammable gas, methane. Methane is poisonous for us, but may not be poisonous for another chemistry type living species. We are not necessarily talking about humans. When we talk about life, even algae is a life form. Plantation is a life form, and so on. So, are you ready for the next planet? Uranus is the next one. So, while we are flying to this planet, this is the third of the gas giant planets. And until 1780, the only known planets in the solar system were the ones we have visited so far because they appear in the night sky. So you don't need any telescope, any instrumentation, any spacecraft, nothing to be able to see and notice those planets. Those are from Mercury and all the way to Saturn. But Uranus was not known to ancient civilizations. And in 1981, it is actually considered very recently in the history. This planet was discovered by astronomer William Herschel. So William Herschel, even the first, he spotted a comet in the sky. Back then, the comets were known, and when Herschel had access to the largest telescope on Earth back in time, and then while he was just trying to observe the stars, he noticed some bright, dim lights shifting around stars. So, and he thought, and he actually discovered another gas giant planet. The funny story is he first wanted to name it after the King George, so he wanted to name the planet George. This planet was actually known as George. But then the scientists really didn't want to go with this name, and they followed the order with the other planets, and they named it after the Greek god Uranus. So, right after the discovery, another thing started puzzling the scientists nearly a century later. And that was the Uranus's behavior on the orbit was little different than the other planets, because when we applied the Newton's law, the Uranus's behavior on the orbit, it was going fast forward a little bit and gradually a little bit. So that little bit, and that problem is either the physics, the law of physics was applying differently to Uranus, which is not likely but possible. Or another theory was there was another planet shock force was suggested that the existence of another unknown planet behind Uranus, and at that time that problem was handed to great mathematicians, and the mathematicians calculated another planet and showed the potential place, and they looked at it, and finally the discovery came, the planet Neptune. If you like, let's go to Neptune and go around it a little bit and talk about how the Neptune looks. You can, if you have a large enough telescope, and usually those kind of telescopes are found during star parties, you can actually see Neptune by yourself. The Uranus is the same way. With a large size star party telescope, it can be spotted, but the Neptune's first discovery was actually, as we said, by mathematicians on paper. They did not use any telescope or any optical instrumentation to spot Neptune. Here how it looks. It is another blue beauty, has many moons around it, and the Neptune actually known as the windiest planet, because the wind speeds can really reach to great numbers on the planet, and it's also known as discovered by accidental planet. What's beyond Neptune? Of course, there is that famous, formerly planet and recently known as dwarf planet, Pluto. Let's go to Pluto and take a look. When we talk about Pluto, first of all, how Neptune was discovered, the scientists tried to apply that's the same mathematical theory to Neptune to see if they can find out another planet beyond Neptune. And this is not how Pluto was discovered, because that didn't work for Neptune, and the Pluto's discovery came a lot after. And it was actually discovered by an American, the first planet discovered by an American. And the Pluto is about the size of our moon. It is a tiny object. And we discovered many more objects beyond Pluto. And we realized today there is another real estate, orbital real estate, for another small icy object system, and we call it Kuiper Belt. Kuiper Belt is very similar to the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and it also has significant number of objects inside. We are almost over time. I would like to spend some time for questions, if you have any. In the meantime, we can continue looking at Pluto and perhaps orbit around Pluto. Even we can maybe dive into some Kuiper Belt and see how it looks. Even visit a few objects. If you have questions, you can use the comment window, and our team will read it and answer it, or tell me the question so I can answer it as soon as I can. We are just waiting for comments on the comment section. On the screen, the orbits of all the planets we talked in this video, and the Kuiper Belt is found to be on the beyond. And also, if you like these streams, we would like to know, tell us via comments or on the social media that you like these streams, so we can prepare more and more streams to you. We also have weekly night sky videos. You can find those on our YouTube channel. Watch them because each one is unique and each one is talking about different topics every week. Jim Bader is preparing those videos for you. And if you really would like to talk about, or if you would like to really hear about some specific topic about astronomy or space sciences, let us know. Then we can prepare a video, or maybe we can cover that on one of the live streams. So what we are looking at is actually what is behind the Kuiper belt. So behind the orbit of Pluto, there is a big web of tiny, tiny objects, all orbiting around the sun. And if we go a little bit more outwards, then at some point we are hitting to the heliopause, which it is the boundary of the solar system. The sun has command in the entire boundary of the solar system. So wherever that ends, we call it heliopause, or the solar system boundary. So there's lots of objects, and most of the comets we see outside in the solar system, they are actually coming from Kuiper belt region. Well, we just passed the comets. The comets are usually from the sky. You see those as they have great tails. Well, the tails get greater when they get close to the sun, because what tail is actually evaporating ice. So the water vapor, the sun's intensity is more as the comet goes to the near the sun. So that's why they get more intense. And most of the comets, they get bright enough to visible when they get close to the sun. That's why we say we discovered a comet. The comet was actually has been around quite some time, but we just recently spotted with the telescopes. That's when we say we spotted a comet. Well, again, follow our YouTube channel and the social media. We are trying to post great astronomical stuff every week, and follow our live streams. They are always great, so you get the one-to-one interaction with us if we are live. Otherwise, our weekly sky videos are great, and the next one is going to be the next live public show is going to be next week, Tuesday. And for the latest updates, follow our social media and keep an eye on our website. Well, I really enjoyed doing a live stargazing with you. I hope you too. And with different topic, see you all next week.